I'm not going to lie, I almost set up for traditional Thursday again. Holy smokes. Okay, so the new schedule has me all kind of messed up. I think we can safely assume that. But nevertheless, this is Full Scale Friday. Now, for those of you just joining us, this is what a full private reading will look like. Give or take a few cards. Sometimes, depending on your question, I add a few cards or maybe not. Now, you can get a private reading by visiting either of the links below in the link tree. Those, you throw me something off the wish list, and of course, sorry, my sinuses are really screwing with me today. Anything 35 and under gets you 2 readings and a birthday reading. Anything, over that, I give you 4 readings and a birthday reading. But that's going to be beside the point today, because I want you, if you're on the fence about getting yourself or someone else a private reading, I want you to immediately abandon that thought. And here's why. My friend Joe, you might have met him if you checked out the live streams that we do here on YouTube. And if you're watching on other channels, that's fine. Joe is one of those guys, he can carry an entire podcast on his own. And the last podcast, he absolutely saved me because I was dying. I had no material and things were just not going all that well. But in any case, Joe's a great guy with a lot of great experiences playing RPGs. Very opinionated, very strongly opinionated at that. But his mom, as of the last podcast, he informed us that his mom was not doing well. She ended up passing away, unfortunately. And Joe needs some assistance with the funeral arrangements. And so, if you were thinking about getting yourself or someone else a personal reading, I thank you, and that's very, very generous of you. But I'm asking you to redirect that generosity towards Joe and his situation right now. I'm going to find the link to where you can provide that assistance. And nothing is too small. Every little bit helps. And I would highly encourage all of my watchers, all of my subscribers, all of those who just even casually share the videos, to take that money that you were going to use to get yourself or someone else some private readings and help Joe out. It would really be appreciated. I know I would appreciate it, because this is a friend in need. And I know Joe would appreciate it, and so would his mom. And I thank you all in advance for whatever you can do. It really means a lot. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and get down to the reading now. And we've been talking, one more thing, due to the rather interesting schedule I have now, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to be working far too early some mornings to deliver a reading for you. Because, let's face it, me trying to get up earlier these days is just not really happening all that well. Quite honestly, I've been sleeping in the last couple days, and I know tomorrow we have the live stream here, so I don't know if Joe's going to be on that one tomorrow. He's kind of got a lot to do, so I really want to just kind of leave him to it. But any day that I'm going to miss, here's the plan I've devised coming home last night. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like I do the weekend readings. I'll just do a reading, and it'll cover the next 2 days. So there will be things to keep in mind over the coming day until I can get the next reading out to you. I apologize for things being sporadic, but you know, unfortunately work has to take priority. And that's because it just pays the bills. You know, it's how it is. Kind of world we live in, kind of thing we're doing. Got to roll with those punches, and believe me, I've been taking my fair share of them. My share, your share, and probably someone else's share. I've been taking a lot of them. And the hits just keep on coming, ladies and gentlemen. Today will probably be no exception, but we've also been told that we have agency in all of this. We get to decide what we do with them. So let's see what this reading has. Let's see what this bears out. Maybe we'll get some good news. Maybe we'll get a warning. Maybe we're on the right path. Maybe not so much. But we will see. That much I assure you. Alright. Let's get right into it, shall we? Alright, here we go. Start with who we are, as always. Hail the goddess of the sun, Sol. Her day is actually Sunday, and her name in Saxon was Suna. The very origin of the term Sunday. So we're not going to be getting into petty things. We're going to take a much higher ground. That's who we need to be. Because as much as we love to just get into it and tear into things, at the end of the day, it's not solving anything, is it? It's one thing to identify a problem. When you identify a problem, you can say, well, you know, I don't really care to do that. That really does not help anything. But at least you know what to avoid. And you know you shouldn't dwell on it too long, because it robs you of solutions. So, and there's the first three letters of that term. Solution. What does a solution do? Well, for starters, it solves things, doesn't it? You can't have a solution, and you can't solve a problem without some type of illumination. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Dagoz as a rune today. Being guided by Hel, or Hela, if you so desire. The goddess of the underworld, the goddess of the dead herself. The interesting thing about Hel is that she provides a place of rest. And of course she kind of puts things to rest. She puts them to bed, if you will. But it's a lot like the death card. The death card doesn't literally mean you're going to die. It means that something has to end. You've got to keep moving through the difficult circumstances. You cannot get stuck. And you may need a rest at the end of a long project or a difficult time. So you walk toward a place of rest. The road is long, the sun is setting. You have your shoes, and you know it's time to pause and allow your name to be given elsewhere until time to see the dawn again. I'm just going to let that sink in. Sometimes you just gotta let the old you, the one that's negative, the one that's always like, oh, that is like so 10 years ago. You know, you gotta let that hipster part of you die. That way you can approach from childlike wonder, which is what the Sun card is, right? So, in the mind, We have a devil in reverse. Thank goodness for that. We've got a 5 of swords. And we've got a page of wands. Starting with the devil in reverse. Does this guy not look like a certain British actor we've seen? But we've got this in reverse. Now this is good news. Because letting go, not staying chained to that negative mindset, is going to work. It's going to work out pretty well. And yes, things are difficult. Because if it kind of feels like something's being just ripped away from you, right? That 7 of swords, it does kind of feel like something's being stolen. This is not the 5 of swords. The 5 of swords would be more like you're master of your field. In this case, the way his face is pointing, he's looking over at this devil card in reverse. So while 5 of your swords are missing, there's like 2 more that are right there. And either one of them will still be handy. You can still get much more use out of just one of those 2 swords than you can from the others that were taken away. And not only that, that sword will lead back to the one who stole them, and you'll be able to weaponize that against them. As a matter of fact, you want to know what I call? I call this card the Grandma's Boy card. If you've never seen the movie Grandma's Boy, spoiler alert, this movie is like close to 20 years old or better, so if you don't want spoilers, now is a good time to move on to the page of wands. But in Grandma's Boy, the main character, who is living with his grandmother, shows her this game that he has created himself on his own time, and she wants to play it. So he instructs her on how to play it, she plays it. Later on, the guy's boss sees the game, falls in love with it as well. He shows them the game, instructs him on how to play it, and then this guy steals it and passes it off as his own. In order to prove it was his grandmother has to play it. She plays it against the guy and beats him handily. The only way she could have known some of the secrets was if she had played it before. And if he had been the one to write it, she wouldn't have known that. Moving on to the page of wands now. Very young and creative energy. Very kind of almost naive, as a matter of fact. And you're going to have to go back to a little more of a naive time. A time when things held wonder for you. Because when they hold wonder, they don't hold negativity. Many of us who play RPGs are falling more and more in love with what we love, and not so much what we hate. As a matter of fact, this is going to be you daring to take risks and try new things. You're ready. You're there with your dragons, and that's what these are. Commanding dragons. A lot of luck to follow too. Your thoughts, your opinions, they're going to matter. And if you present them in a way that you're excited about them, and why you're excited about them, others will be as well. Remember that sword is going to turn into this. You go from this negative mindset all the way to, I think I can do this better. Let me show you why. Right here in the body, we do have a King of Swords. In reverse, we have a Page of Cups. And we even have an Ace of Swords in reverse. So, not exactly approaching more with intelligence, not with rationale, a rational mindset. You're approaching more as someone who is deceptively naive. You're not coming across as an insufferable know-it-all in this case. And normally this card would mean that you've mastered your thoughts. In this case, it's telling you to let go. Let go a little bit. Because a lot of what you're sharing, you may be oversharing, and someone may be taken off with it. And if someone's taken off with it, maybe you're sharing just a little more than you should. So try not to overshare here. We got a Page of Cups sitting right here in the middle of things. Again, with that very young and naive energy. It seems like we're being, to me it seems like we're being told more to settle on the things that really make us feel young, that make us feel good about ourselves. To be emotionally moved, not manipulated by all the beauty that surrounds you. Let me tell you something, folks. When most people who are raised on something like the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons, they look at it, they look at that beautiful artwork, and I'm not going to lie, some of it, from the books predating 2017, it's beautiful art. It absolutely is. As a matter of fact, I'll just show you some art from one of the starter sets here. What else if I got out of my own way? But look at that art. That is beautiful. That is really well done. And then you've got some people, they see the older, they see these older rule sets and they see the artwork from back in those days, and they're like, yeah, I'm just not feeling that. Personally, myself, I see beauty in both. It stirs my imagination. It puts me in an emotional place. And whether my character succeeds or dies trying, you still get a sense of heroism out of it. Right now, with these 2 pages, that should be what you're doing. You should be approaching it with a mindset of, it doesn't matter whether I win or lose, but I should be in there playing. I should be participating. I should be doing this. Because you do have ideas. And if you keep feeling like they're just not worth a damn, just remember, you will always miss 100% of the shots you never take. In fact, ending conflict is what it's all about. Your thoughts may be nothing new, but they will be absolutely essential in moving things along. Try it. That idea that you just didn't give a damn about, it'll never be good enough. Throw it in there. But be excited about it. Act as if you believe in it. You know what? We didn't even overturn the, and see, this is why I do this the way I do. I don't cut this. We didn't even get the spirit animal card, so let's do that right now. Because what can we emulate in nature? A deer spirit. Just bring that gentle touch to it. It's okay to be excited, you just don't want to be overbearing about it. Very gentle guidance. Like, hey, you know what? If you try this, I'd be willing to bet it does that. Check it out. You just back off. It's going to work. Because we're going to the spirit now. We've got a Knight of Coins in reverse. We've got Temperance in reverse again. And then we've got this 8 of Swords in reverse. Now that Knight of Coins in reverse, wow, oh boy. We're not appearing from a position of strength, any kind of realistic strength at that. Because right now you're not tenacious or dedicated in the pursuit of your goals. But the thing about that Knight of Coins is there's no compromise there. There's no backing down. And upright, that's exactly what it means. It means the Knight of Coins is obstinate. In the face of opposition, it's like, well, you're going to dig your heels in even further. In this case, we're talking compromise. In this case, we mean to not be so hard-headed. Again, there's that deer spirit again, bringing that gentle touch to it. With temperance in reverse, overindulgence is never going to be something that I champion for any reason. Because right now, you're completely out of balance, spiritually speaking. You're going to have to bring mental, physical, and spiritual into proper balance with each other. You're going to have to, this weekend maybe attend church, no matter what that is. If it's going out into the woods by yourself, if it's actually attending a church or a synagogue or a temple or something like that, it's time to do that. Because from somewhere you need to ignite both of these pages in order to get that. You need to get that illumination. The negative mind space is not you at the moment. And I think the proper question is, who are you and why? Where are you? Are you where you want to be? And if not, why? Something to examine, because honestly, the good news behind this card is your problems seem a little bigger than what they are. And when it's in reverse, the problems are almost completely infinitesimally smaller than what you might think. This is where you're not bound up by your problems. Normally, this card would tell you, hey, those bonds are just loose. Shake them off, take the blindfold off, step between the swords, you're home free. Now it's telling you, you're not making mountains out of molehills. You're actually going to be alright. So, with a lot of these sword cards in reverse, there's not a lot of conflict there. And most of the conflict is existing in your mind anyway. Are you starting to understand? But it's time to set yourself free of that conflict because it doesn't belong to you. Going into your oracle cards, we have a Tree of Souls. So this is going to do a mind very, very well. You've got kinship. I know it says collective wisdom, kinship group, library. Getting together with others, discussing ideas, and not immediately discounting each other. Kind of bring the best of what you have together. I can tell you this on the Weaving Spiders podcast. That happens a lot. You should check it out sometime. There's a lot of really good ideas, and there's also a lot of ether in there, but we sort through all that. And we sort through it pretty well. But that's absolutely needed in order to clearly think, clear your mind, see what matters. Physically, we also have the hidden world, so you need to change consciousness, awareness, and even some extrasensory perception. And don't start saying, I don't have that. Yes, you do. You ever had that little small voice in the back of your head that says, hey, don't back out of the driveway just yet. Give it about 5 seconds, 3, 2, 1, and you see a car just tear past. Yeah, if you've ever avoided an accident that way or just waiting a couple extra seconds on a stoplight, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You do have that kind of thing. Now you can change your consciousness and awareness. Shift your perspectives around. Just like that Seven of Swords tells you. Shift your perspective. Did you lose 5 swords? Yeah, but did they leave you the most effective 2? Yeah. How many are you going to use? Only 1. And that's all you need. Also, right in the spiritual, I mean, come on. All signs are pointing. All signs are pointing home. But you do have completion, reunion, and return. Isn't it time that you're reunited with some friends? Isn't it time to be reunited with what you love the most instead of what you don't like? It's not a bad idea. In fact, it's a perfectly good one. Let's take it home with the runes and see what you got. We've got Rider-Waite, so it's really more about the journey than it is the destination. We've got Ingus, which is the sign of unity. We got that one yesterday in the very same spot physically. And we have Lagus, the lake, where we're kind of just going with the flow of it, right? Spiritually speaking, we really need to flow right back home. It's always going to be more about the journey than it is the destination. More stories come out of the journey than they do the destination. As much as you need to seek help from others, sometimes you need to give it. That's the only way the wall works. And finally, simply just flow spiritually for a little while. And I think what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot more benefit out of it than you think. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to trust yourself a little more. Know that you've got this. Know that this weekend is all yours. For my YouTube short today and all that, I'm going to be taking from Oracle of the Hidden Worlds. I hope you will see that. Again, I urge you all to have a look at the link, and if you can't donate anything, I understand, but please, more than this video, share that link around. The link in the description down below. Joe needs our help. And I think spiritually that's what will bring us home. I think physically that'll give us that good feeling for doing our good deed for the day. Mentally could also help. Turning around negative emotions, because if you've ever thought, oh, I'm just one person, what good can I do? The good you can do begins right at that link. And it'll kick off your weekend. Give it a try. Like I said, no amount's too small. Every little bit helps. I not only thank you for being here today, but I thank you for all the help that you can provide. Just remember, I love you all. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. I want you to always do what really lights you up. And as always, shine on.